Welcome to the Teradek booth, or the Vitek booth, at the NAB show 2015 in Las Vegas. I'm Dan Chung, I'm your host for the next couple of hours, and I'm from newsshooter.com. Hopefully most of you tuning in will know who I am, so I won't waste any time on that, but I am joined by my guest here from OffHollywood. And you have brought on something really good, the Red Weapon, but tell me about what you've got going on here.
So this is Red Digital Cinema's new camera system, which is the Weapon. There's a couple of key things about the Weapon that are different. It currently has the existing Dragon sensor, but some of the main exciting features that they've added is the ability to record ProRes at the same time as recording the 6K RAW. There's a lot of other features added, such as 3D LUTs. There's built-in Wi-Fi in the camera. But one of the more exciting things to me about what they've done with this camera is they've opened up third-party hardware integration. So when they originally created a modular camera system, by allowing third parties to create other modules, you can sort of unlimitedly extend the functionality of the camera. So my company, OffHollywood, is making some of the first third-party modules for the camera system. This is a prototype here. The modules that we're making are called O-mods. It's for OffHollywood modules. And we're still in development, but the goal is that we're going to ship several versions of modules at the same time that the camera ships.
And it's very interesting that Red have actually opened up and allowed third parties to do that. But you have a very long partnership, we can say, relationship with.
It was the first. Our company was the first customer. We bought the first two cameras, and we really embraced it.
You still have those cameras? We
still have the cameras. They still work great. We don't rent them out. They sit proudly on a shelf, and once in a while we'll fire them up. But we're very passionate about the company and the technology. In the very early days of Red, there was a lot of resistance in the industry, and we sort of became a camera rental house. By mistake, or we were sort of forced to do it. We thought that other camera rental houses were going to embrace the technology and buy the cameras, and they all resisted, and so our phone just kept ringing off the hook, and we just kept buying more cameras.
Okay, so tell me, okay, you don't work for Red, but tell me a little bit about what was announced today, what you know so far. You've been to briefings. Right,
so I was up pretty late last night, so I'm not razor sharp on all the exact technical specs. But the big thing is it is a trade-in program, so there's different tiers of cost for trading in your Scarlett or your Epic Dragon or your Scarlett Dragon. You get a substantial amount of money.
Yeah, no parts of the camera recycled.
There's no parts of the camera recycled, so it is a trade-in program. But it is part of their sort of obsolescence obsolete. There's an additional NAB price reduction. So if they put
seems to be a super discount if you book here at the show.
So if you book at the show, you're upgraded at the show.
Well, not actually. You don't have to be at the show. Right. It's just during the show period.
Right. And the other very big announcement was that they have another sensor, which is coming later this year, which is an 8K VistaVision large format sensor.
And VistaVision is essentially what 5Ds and full frame DSLRs have been shooting. That's the sort of not exactly, but almost the look that you'll be
shooting digital IMAX, basically.
Yeah, but the quality is obviously a different story altogether. But it's the frame size is that.
It's going to be substantially exciting. I think.
Do you think there's a big demand for that in your customer base? Who are the customers for that camera?
Well, it becomes, the bar is always rising. Like, we didn't walk around saying we have to have a Retina display on our iPad. But suddenly, once we got a Retina display, we don't even want to look at the non-Retina display. So as we're sort of out of the celluloid world pretty much now, you're going to see certain technology like laser projection in large format venues and 4K broadcast. The bar just goes up, and shows just want to look better. Maybe not all content, but certainly for stills, for documentaries, for large, blockbuster movies. I mean, I just think it's a natural thing to have more dynamic range and more resolution and more sharpness. I think it's great.
And you think that frame grabs from Red is now a sort of a reality? Are you getting customers?
We do it all the time. We have a lot of fashion clients that pull. I mean, magazine covers from huge magazines are pulling stills from
Okay. Well, let's walk through this. Let's first, what do you know about the camera itself? Show us anything new that's on the body that you found interesting or different to the Scarlett and the Epic as was.
Right. So there is a side control panel with an LCD screen that you can remove here on this side of the camera. There's some built-in scratch audio mics on the front of the camera.
Turn it around here.
Yeah, sorry. Some built-in scratch audio mics. On this side of the camera is the mag for the mini mag, which is now available in 512, 240, and 1 terabyte, I believe.
So the old mags are gone. It's only the.
Well, no. These are the new mini mags, and these have been out for a while. We've only been able to buy 512 gigs. But for example, at our rental house, where all of our Dragons use this media.
Right. Okay.
So they knew this. They were working on this, so they transitioned into that. So the other kind of interesting thing is that Red's connection for their EVF and LCDs.
Let's see that.
They designed a connector so that you can lock on the monitor or EVF and have no cables at all.
So this actually can attach down here?
Yes, and you can have two monitors
sideways
or two EVFs,
or tilted, or.
But then they also sell an adapter, so if you want to put the monitor out on a Noga arm or something with the cable, you can put that on there and do that.
Okay, and
but you can. I mean,
again, it's these are new monitors. Or you have to buy all new monitoring gear or other adapters?
You do not. This particular monitor is a new monitor because it has the cable-free form factor to lock down directly onto the camera. So you can use the previously released touchscreen, but you'll have to use the cable adapter to plug it in. So if you're shooting like very lean and mean and you want to get as small as possible, this camera will let you be cable-free and down. But again, on the back, there is no outputs beyond these monitors, and that's where this sort of module thing comes in. So Red announced several modules of their own, and then they...
Yeah, we saw that overnight.
Yes,
if anybody's staying up till 2 or 3 in the morning, our time was seeing that trickle through.
Right.
So what do they have? Do you know what they have? They have a broadcast module?
They have what they call there's a module that's like a legacy module. It's very simple, very thin. The least expensive module. It basically puts the same connectors as the Red Epic or the Dragon, and it just puts them on the side.
Yeah.
Okay. Then they have battery modules that you can put on the back and use all types of batteries attached to their battery module.
Okay, and then let's go on to custom. So you obviously, like you said, you're one of the first people to make a custom module. What does this do?
Right. So this is an early prototype version of what we're calling the W Pro. And what we're doing is combining a number of different technologies that are used by big rental houses. There is Ambient, which is ambient recording. It's a German company, one of the most respected timecode companies. We're the first company to have first third party to license their board, their ACN wireless timecode board. So the wireless timecode ACN locket is basically inside, so there's no more Velcro.
Yeah, there's no locket box.
The locket box is inside of this.
Right.
And it's wireless time code that will jam and transmit and sync to any other ACN ambient device. There is 5-pin out, 5 volt out USB for a lens light or for charging your iPhone or whatever.
I mean, here we have it here. We
so
can,
then multiple power outputs for accessories, 2-pin LEMOs. We have 2 power run stop connections, the Fisher 3-pin, which is more of a industry standard for Preston, 4-pin. What you don't see on this prototype is there's going to be 2 switches by the 2 XLRs, so it's full-size XLRs.
Will these have phantom?
They'll have phantom power, but they'll also switch between line level and mic level, and they will also switch between digital and analog.
Okay.
Inside of this module is a custom rechargeable internal battery that Swittronics collaborated with us on, which will run 200 watts for 5 minutes.
So hang on, so basically that allows you to hot swap your main battery here, which we've got back here, which also happens to be a Swittronics in this case.
Yep.
And there's an internal one here, so you can do that.
Right.
Okay.
And you can also hot swap to a 4-pin XLR, so if you're going from handheld or to a battery block, you just shove in the battery block and unplug it.
So these are all real sort of practical enhancements. They're the things that people every day would have to deal with.
Our customers that are shooting TV and features, this is the stuff we use all the time. So then there's a custom video processing board that takes the 2 independent monitor paths inside the weapon and will route them in any combination to 3 SDIs and 1 HDMI. So now that the camera supports 3D LUTs, you can say send the DIT log out 1 SDI and out 3 SDIs, and the HDMI you could send out a 3D LUT applied. Right?
Wow, okay, that's
now,
pretty impressive.
What's not on this particular prototype, because you have to make a bunch of mistakes first before you get it right. So
let's look at the back here.
So we're working with Teradek, collaborating with Teradek on a board that will stream, low latency stream wireless H.264 to iOS devices with full control at the same time. So in the red booth, Mikkel is showing a proof of concept. He's showing the app working, but the board from Teradek wasn't ready in time. So we're using a modified firmware on a Cube 2 just to show it what it's going to be. But that was enough to sort of inspire us to say, hey, wireless technology for images is really moving fast. So what if we made a module in a module? So basically this has been redesigned so that there is a module for the wireless video that is separate than the actual module. And it passes RS-232 and eventually gigabit Ethernet into that module. So now you could have a Teradek or a Paralinx 600 or 2000. If you're a rental house, you might have one specific kind of transmitter.
Yeah, for sure.
You could buy this with no transmitter. You just could get an empty shell where you could put your car keys, I guess, or your phone.
And you're looking at most of the common Teradek transmitters, or
300, 600, 2000 for sure, because they're all working now, and probably the higher end Paralinx, and then whatever else they're working on, or whatever else. You know, the iOS board, we don't know when that's going to be ready, but I think I'll be ready with my module before they're ready with the board.
Right. Okay. Have you got any idea? Are you going to sell this, or is it a rental item only?
So it's all going to be. The whole idea is to sell it for as low a price as we can and sell as many as we can. So there are.
It's very benevolent of you. Assuming you rent a rental house, you're going to sell to your competition.
Exactly.
What to make the thing work? You know.
Our company, OffHollywood, we are transitioning. We're kind of a hybrid company from the beginning. We've always done production services.
Yeah.
So we're production services plus equipment rentals. For a long time, we had a post-production facility. Fortunately, we were able to, escape that business and sold that division of our business to Light Iron, which is now acquired by Panavision.
Circles within circles.
Yes. But we want to stay and grow in rentals, because the unique thing about rentals is that you can actually get the feedback from the users. So I couldn't design this type of stuff without constantly hearing from people what they really want in the product. So, but we are transitioning into a product company. We want to make a lot of products. It's a very exciting, fun thing for us to do. So.
Okay, thank you. That's pretty impressive, actually, that Red have opened up in that way, and that you've been able to get that.
As far as I know, there's no other digital cinema camera that has an open API for camera control.
Mm-hmm.
Arri doesn't have that, Canon doesn't have it, Sony doesn't have it, and that's opened up for third-party hardware. I mean, they're going to control the third-party hardware integration, and I think OffHollywood's kind of like the guinea pig to see, I'm sure if we don't do a good job, we'll be out the door.
Okay,
so I think
there's an incentive there.
I think we're very fortunate they're giving us the shot, and so we're going to work really hard to deliver. And so the new goal is, and I'm going to say it publicly because I only function with very high, tough goals, is to have working prototypes of all of the modules we're making at Cinegear this year.
Wow. Are you allowed to say what other modules you're making?
Yeah, they're on our website. If you go to www.offhollywood.ny.com/OMODs.
Wow, you remembered that.
OMODZ, OMODs. There's all the information and the current specifications, but there's 3 different versions that we're showing, smaller versions than this. This is sort of like the kitchen sink high-end rental house version, but we're offering scaled down versions for different markets. Okay,
can we go back to the camera for a minute? We've got a few minutes to talk about that.
Yep.
Obviously, the people want to know, how does the body feel different? Is it weight-wise similar?
Right. So there's a carbon fiber version, and
this is the carbon fiber version.
Yes, and there's also a magnesium version. So they're actually both of the cameras are incredibly light. They're incredibly light. So.
And then in terms of the image, very few people have seen, apart from people who are lucky enough to be at the show.
Yeah. Well, it is the same.
I mean, it's hard to quantify, but yeah.
Well, you know, it is the same sensor currently. It is the Dragon sensor. However, there are processing improvements. So you are going to be able to squeeze more out of the image, and there is some color stuff that's happening that's taking that color science to a whole other level. So it would be absolutely accurate to say you're going to be able to get a higher fidelity image from a weapon than a Dragon. But it is the same sensor. But again, you will be able to take that camera and swap out the lens mount and the sensor for an 8K sensor by the end of the year.
And when you say swap, have they said whether that's return to base, and will you be able to swap backwards?
I haven't asked them, and I don't think they announced it, and my gut is...
I haven't seen that anyway either.
My gut is it's return to base, but I do know that the weapon was specifically designed for that. It wasn't an afterthought of, yes, we can do this. The plan was, we're going to really get the obsolete thing down.
And then last question, have you seen any vision yet from the VistaVision?
I have not had a chance. I'm in the booth I'm showing all the different prototypes of the modules, and I'm with Mikkel from Fool Control, so I haven't even gotten to go in and see any of the stuff they're screening.
Okay, great. Thanks you so
for
much.
having me.
No, thank you. Okay, we'll be right back after a very, very short break with Manfrotto with an interesting new product for DSLRs. Stay tuned.